I thought tonight was a good first scrimmage. Got a little over 100 plays. Got some some live special teams work that something we wanted to be able to introduce a little bit more with our return games. Really trying to push those. I thought there was some really good work that showed up there. The investment that we're making when it comes to the fundamentals aspect of it. Putting some of these. Putting some of the different returners and guys competing in those roles. I thought that was some great work this evening. It was a good back and forth. I thought our first defense, really flew around to the ball. You were, made some great plays. I thought, there was a good balance. I mentioned the other day we had a few linemen that were down, and so it really got to kind of force some of the newcomers and younger guys to be thrown into the action. I thought it was, all in all, the defense started really fast. Offense, responded. Got to continue to work on the consistency. Had a couple of big plays that were able to hit down the field. I thought, Deuce Spann was a guy that really showed up tonight. I thought he had collectively, probably his best day, which was good to see. Showcasing his speed. Caught the ball well. You did a nice job in the return game. He was just somebody that really stood out. I thought Tatum Bethune flew around all over. Our defensive line was impactful. They were able to. I thought our running backs did a really nice job. Running tough, running hard. In between the tackles, but also when they got on the perimeter, were able to make some guys miss, and we had some explosives there in the run game. So. Be able to go back and watch all the film, but I'm just on the field and the flow of it. I thought there were some good things that showed up. The offense got stalled out in the red zone a few times, which was a really good job by the defense. But just some missed opportunities that showed up on both sides of the ball. But I was pleased with the first scrimmage. I thought we got good work, and be a great evaluation as we move into this next week.
All right, our first question will be Matt Marshall from the Orlando Sentinel.
Yeah, Mike, for the first scrimmage, did you feel like you guys were where you want to be at after being, 8 or 9 practices into fall camp?
Yeah, and I'll say, day 6, practice 6, we got some really good series work. About a third of the practice, which was good to kind of see where guys were. Today, obviously full pads. Everybody was live, but the quarterback. It was. I thought the overall function of what we were trying to do. Like I said, it has some guys that were thrust into probably more advanced roles due to some injuries. But I like all in all what I saw and where we are. Obviously a lot of things to clean up with the first scrimmage, but it was good, especially for some of these newcomers. Being able to get the opportunity to go out there and showcase exactly where they are. And we got some newcomers that are going to help this team, and that's exciting. Unfortunately, with lightning in the area, we weren't able to be in Doak, so we had to go into the indoor, which was unfortunate. I'm going to try to look at this week's schedule to see if we can get in there a little bit before we head to Jacksonville. But I thought it was a good start. We're able to present a lot of different looks, on both sides of the ball, live out situations. And, like I said, the mistakes that were made are things that we definitely will get to correct. And, in all phases of it, having ACC officials here, was something that was good for our guys. Had a few issues that showed up, and, obviously very correctable and things we're going to continue to work on.
Next week, Chris Neal, Noles 247.
Mike, you mentioned some of the running backs turned in big plays. Was it a group effort? Was there anybody specific that stood out?
It really was. I think, each of them, had their moments, and all had plays where they were, made, like I said, made people miss, ran for tough yards, continued to, turn their legs and create a little bit of the extra yardage, times when there were and there was not space. And, I like that group, and I like the toughness and mentality that they have. They were able to create some things on their own, and then obviously when they got a seam, they were able to make some things happen as well. So it was I thought all in all, a pretty good day for them. I mean, Rodney as a young freshman, he had a couple of explosive plays. Trey Benson is continuing to get better. Trayshawn Ward had a really good night, as well as LT. I thought CJ Campbell was unavailable tonight, so really was those guys. And we're continuing to mix. I know you guys saw it, but Ja'Kai Douglas is a guy that can kind of do a lot of different things. So we got him some work in the backfield, and that showed up as well.
Corey Clark from Warchant.
Yeah, Mike, you talked about a Deuce Spann having a big day. I guess talk about what he can do for this offense, and also any other. And I know it's hard to single out dudes. We want you to, but were there any other receivers that stood out that made big plays down the field for you guys?
There was some really good catches. I know Micah Pittman had a really good catch. Pokey had a couple of great plays. A couple third down, big catches, explosive down the field. I mean, it's each of them had their moments. To go back and watch it, I mean, those are the ones that kind of just jump out. But we did have some missed opportunities and things we got to continue to clean up. But within that, but I like that group. I mean, I think it's the potential. The way that they've been showing up at practice, the continued, investment in the fundamentals and technique. I mean, I think that group, guys like Johnny and Malik, I mean, they've been so consistent throughout a fall camp so far, and really playing at a high level. So it was good just to see, that whole group continue to emerge.
Next will be Kurt Weller from the Osceola.
You talked about the defense. I guess how much rotating in was there first and second team, and who really popped along with? I know the guys you've mentioned there so far, maybe in the secondary.
Yeah, we rolled guys pretty good. I mean, we wanted to see different combinations. Give guys an opportunity to go out there, especially some of the young guys. I mean, Sam McCall came up with an interception tonight. I think it was on one of his first plays. And I've been teasing with Sam. It's been waiting, and he got the first opportunity, the ball thrown his way, and he was able to make a great interception. I think as you see guys continue just playing faster, and the communication with that first group, guys like Duke Cooper. Renardo Green, I think, is really doing some nice things. You see him continue to flash all over the field. Jarian Jones, was really good. You would talk about the safeties. I mean, that whole group, there's so much competition in it that I feel confident just as they roll. Whether it's ones or twos, and we've got a good amount of depth, and just that competitive where if a guy does go down or needs a play. I mean, we've got some very quality competitors that are making their impact in that secondary.
Next will be Brennan Simone, Noles 247.
Hey Mike, how would you assess the quarterback play today? Then specifically with AJ Duffy with his first full live scrimmage. I guess I guess he had one in the spring too, but here in the preseason, I guess how did he look?
Yeah, AJ, I'd say the first couple of plays were not the best. There was had an early pick, as a decision that you'd like him to probably continue on with the progression. But what I loved about today, and it was one of the things that we challenged him. He's had so much growth throughout spring ball and fall camp, and even though he didn't start well today, he responded and was able to make a couple big throws. He hit the deep pass to Deuce. I mean, you couldn't have placed the ball any better than what he did down the field. You saw him kind of calm down as the scrimmage went on, and that's what I wanted to see. And he's the first to know the things that he has to improve and the things that he's got to do, and to be able to transition from what was a rocky start to, ended up being, I think, a very productive, scrimmage for him. It was good to see. I thought Tate continues to get better. I mean, he located the ball, was able to do some really good things. I thought Jordan, was able to move the ball, made some really nice throws. I mean, it was yeah, I like that group. I like the direction that they're going, and it's as much as anything else, just their response when maybe something doesn't go right. Around them, just how they're able to move to the next play and keep this, keep the offense rolling.
Next to be Aslan Hajibandi from Warchant.
Coach, you mentioned Tatum Bethune. Are you starting to kind of get a picture now, along with spring practice, of what your linebacker core is going to be able to do for your defense? And can you talk about what Tatum and a improved Kalen DeLoach is going to be able to do for the defense this season, you feel?
Yeah, and I think when you look at, an improved Amari Gaynor, improved DJ Lundy, Omar Graham, Stephen Dix. I mean, I'll tell you, Brennan Gant showed up. I mean, he's done some great things with his body too. He's probably put on 10 to 15 pounds. He's, just really, I saw him fly around tonight. And I think that group, that Coach Shannon is doing a really good job with them. Tatum, I think, is a special player. I mean, Kalen, is you saw some of the things he was capable of last year as he settled in, and he's really pushing himself to take his game to the next level. And I like that. I like the group. I like the competitiveness. I like the depth that we've been able to establish. Young players like Omar Graham, that all of these reps that he gets, are huge because he's a very talented young man. But I do like the steps we're seeing from our linebacking core.
Back to Matt Rochelle.
Mike, I wanted to ask, what kind of identity do you see this team taking on this year, and where have you seen some growth from some of these guys leading to that identity you want to see?
It's a daily process to establish that. And like I told them before we got on the field and then afterwards, what you see is where you are. And, I see a team that, they are working, and, they like the mentality. We continue to push the mentality, the competitiveness, these guys, they want to win, and they want to win being their best. And, the physicality, the toughness, continuing to, we talk about the Noles way. We want to play smart. We want to play fast. We want to play physical. And we want to be a team that finishes. And, those are the steps that we're working to take. And, when I see the investment, when I see guys, they're putting in the extra time to understand the situations, understand, the schemes, the concepts, the details, the fundamentals. It's encouraging. And then you start to see them play faster. You see the explosive plays that are coming up, offense, defense, and special teams. You see the physicality and toughness. We're going to work, and you see that competition is definitely pushing guys, on a daily basis. So that's where we're headed, and we've got a few weeks before we get to kick it off. But every day we've got to get closer, and this next week's going to be big with us. Coming back, grading and evaluating the scrimmage. There's going to be some guys that'll be moving around, getting more opportunities. And then we get to go to Jacksonville this week, which will be great for our team, and continuing to build upon establishing that identity. And so I'll be praying most of the week that it gets really hot and humid over in Jacksonville, because I'm looking forward to continuing to forge this team together.
All right, we're gonna do the three more that have their hands raised. We'll go back to Corey.
Yeah, Mike, how much work do you get on returns, like live returns and special teams in a scrimmage? And is that the gauge you guys use to choose who your returners are going to be in the fall? And last question, did anybody stand out in that regard today?
Yeah, it was, we actually did more live returns than we've done. It was something that, Coach JP and I, we talked about in the off season, and, our return game has not been where we want it to be. And we know that we needed that spark, and our guys, they work really hard in the fundamental. We make a lot of investment in that, but try to give guys that are trying to establish that role, give them the opportunity to show it. And I definitely thought there were some great things. Like I said, I mentioned Deuce earlier. He had a big return that was. It looked good, and I thought the 10 other guys were out there, were busting their tails. You're trying to create seams. I thought Micah had a couple of good returns. We got Sam McCall back there. It was we're looking at a lot of different guys, and it's not just what we're doing today. We have drills and things that we do throughout the course of normal practices to see those reactionary movements and what guys do with the ball in their hands, the decision that they make. But we're continuing to push that, and but I like the work we got tonight.
Kurt.
You talked about the offensive line kind of having to move some guys around. How did you see that unit, maybe not how it's always been assembled, respond? And who did you see, who in the defensive line, did anybody really take advantage of that situation?
It was, especially talking about the guys up front, it was a kind of a mixed bag in a lot of sense. Guys moving guys around, trying to look at different combinations. It was some uncomfortable moments for especially probably some of the newcomers or some of the guys that are the younger guys on the O-line. But I think all that work is there to benefit them. And I thought the defensive line was aggressive. I saw Jared Jackson getting in, make some plays. Jared Verse, continues to flash and show the ability. What I love is, you see the strength of physicality, but I love the effort that he plays with. That was when you see guys that are playing with that relentless mindset. It's definitely encouraging, and it's something that as you watch it, it inspires others. And I thought our defensive line did a good job tonight, and we were able to create some negative plays. But we'll be able to get a better sense of that just going back and watching it with a play in play out basis.
All right, last one will be Brendan.
With Deuce Spann, you mentioned his ability to get deep and to stretch the field that way. Is it purely his speed that was stood out today, or is he, I guess, growing and building on other aspects of his game as well as a receiver right now?
Yeah, when you have size, speed, strength, all those are good combinations that help put you in a good position to be successful. And to see him, capitalize on that, making a tough catches down the field, being able to, when he got the ball in his hands, there on a shorter intermediate play to see that explosiveness, it's encouraging. And, we continue to challenge. Deuce is such a great young man, and he wants to be great. And, even through the lessons that he's learning, he's so new to the position, but you're seeing the application. And to have a day like today where he really rose up, and, I was proud of him. And, like I said, there's a lot of competition in that room, and, seeing those guys play off of each other, but, competing with each other is impressive.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you, guys.